The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. Wednesday morning, 60 minutes to go until that opening bell, and we have markets trading higher, clawing back some of the losses that we had towards the end of the day yesterday. S&P's right now up about 22 points, trading at 33.52. You see the sell-off we had yesterday afternoon. It begins really at about 2 p.m. Eastern time. You have the S&P's trade from 33.73 all the way down about 50-plus points to a low right near the close of 33.28, even lower than that, I think. 33.19, there is your low right in the final 5 minutes of the trading day. But from there, the acceleration begins at about 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. The S&P's trade from 33.30 up to 33.60. We've backed off a bit. 33.49 as I come on the air. We're going to get some CPI data. I'm waiting for that data to come in right now. But as we do, market's ticking down a bit. We'll see what we get for a print. But nonetheless, right now, the S&P is trading down a bit from that 33.53. You're only talking about 3-4 points there. NASDAQ NQs up 66 points at 10,944. The NQs, quite an acceleration to the downside yesterday from 11,150 early in the day, and then you were back at about 11,084 in about 1 o'clock, and you trade from 11,084 down about 200 plus points to 10,845, and we've bounced about 100 points from that level at 10,944. Dow up 219. Dow was above 28,000 yesterday, sold off to below 27,600, currently trading 27,833. Gold, quite the story for gold yesterday. Talk about a trade to the downside. Gold, 1874. Remarkable, folks. You lost more than $200 from where we're at on the highs of last week, 2,089. You look at where we were on Monday. We were trading at 2,061. You trade down almost $200. But since those overnight lows at about midnight, 1 a.m. Eastern time, we've climbed a bit, 1874, now trading at 1940. Silver contract getting a little bit of a bounce as well. Silver really dropped out of bed. Talk about from $29 to $23.58, but just like that, we've bounced almost $2 on silver as well. Notes and bonds, a little bit of lower price and higher yield is the continuing trend. We're looking at a 10-year yield right now approaching 0.7%. We were just yielding 0.55%. Quite a move in bonds. You get the 10-year off 7 ticks at 139.01, the 30-year off 24 ticks at 178.12. You take a look at this 10-year, you put it on a daily. Talk about a reversal. I'd highlighted it many times that we were really climbing above any of these highs in price, correlating to a lower yield. And since then, though, since basically August 5th, so 1 week ago today, we were as high as 140.13. We've now dropped almost a full 1.5 in the 10-year. That results in a yield going from about 0.53% to almost 0.7% in that yield. In terms of what's going on in Europe, you got the DAX right now flat, FTSE up 1.2%, CAC roll up 0.4%. Overnight in Asia, you have the Nikkei up 0.4%, Shanghai negative by about 0.6%. Okay, what else we got going on in the market? Jumping around to some of the headlines. And we're going to start it off with, you have Sumner Redstone. Unfortunately, he has passed away, billionaire media tycoon. There will be a battle, folks, for his controlling share of everything. There's already been a battle. Sumner, the media mogul, built his family's drive-in theater chain into a multi-billion-dollar empire with CBS and Viacom. So unfortunately, passed away Tuesday. They released the information this morning. Media mogul built the family, CBS, Viacom. Redstone controlled about 80% of the voting stock of Viacom and CBS through his private holding company in November 2019. $4 billion in December, the first day of trading for the remarried Viacom CBS. It had dropped to a still formidable $2.6 billion. And let's see what we got. Okay, nonetheless, that story out there, be interesting to see how that plays out in terms of his heirs and if that affects CBS or Viacom at all. Mortgage rates, another low mortgage rate. Juiced weekly demand, but rates are suddenly rising now. There you go, as we talked about. That 10-year, we're quite a shift change from basically 5.53 the yield to about 0.7%. The average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed mortgages with conforming loan balances decreased to 3.06% from 3.14, points decreasing to 0.33 from 0.39. With loans with a 20% down payment, mortgage applications to purchase a home rose 2% for the week and were 22% higher than the same week 1 year ago. Quite a number. We're hovering right around 3%, but you're going to see a spike in those numbers because just in the last 4 or 5 days, that note market accelerating to lower price and higher yield. All right, what else the story out there? So it breaks pretty much right after the close last night that you have Joe Biden picking Kamala Harris to be his VP running mate. So she was at the top of the list, the favorite, you could say, in terms of who was the most likely to be chosen, a former presidential candidate herself. One of the things, I was reading a couple articles overnight, it prevents this whole idea of that then if you pick somebody who has not run for president, then all the articles point to who is this person? Rightfully so, right? They're going to be a vice president. People pretty aware of this. Most of the time they don't vote for the VP anyway, but nonetheless, we're about 80 plus days out from the election. We have the tickets solidified. And I tell you folks, living in Florida, man, there are a lot of political ads running, and I assume it's only going to get more so as we approach that election day. And we'll see if the market starts really pricing in different things. Debates are going to start happening. It's going to be a topic of conversation along with everything else going on, for sure. All right, in terms of what else we have going on, where was my... All right, we're going to jump around to some of the FANG stocks real quick. I had a couple articles up there. I'm going to get them together. Amazon shares pulling back yesterday. Quite the acceleration from about $31.60 down almost $100 toward the end of the day. You're going to open about $20 higher. Some of these tech stocks really getting hit yesterday just to jump around. Check out Apple, right? Beginning of the day pre-market, you're at $452. You trade down almost $16 to $436 near the end of the day. You're going to see a pop, though, because check this out. I mean, we're $5 higher on Apple shares this morning. Microsoft shares, solid $1.50 higher to about 205 from 203. Google shares from about 1480, we're up a bit to 1485. Checking out social media, Facebook from 256 to 258. We were just $20 higher at 278 last week. Let's take a look at the VIX. Quite the spike in that VIX yesterday. We go from under 21. We were talking to Kevin Hinks at 10 a.m. yesterday morning. Tom and I talking about, man, this VIX 21, 22, and that accelerates almost to 25. But just like that, we're at 22.34 as the market. Just like that, reprices the premium that they are putting in those S&P puts and calls. 33.56 in the S&Ps. A little bit of volatility going on as the market digests with about 50 minutes to go until that opening bell. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back in 3 minutes. See what else we have on tap. Still earnings season. We got some earnings going on as well. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The gold report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-Shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's up about 25 right now. NQ Futures up 73. Dow up 282. I got a chart of Kodak up here. Kodak, pretty flat, up a bit marginally. Quite the story. It just doesn't stop with this deal, folks. You jump over here, the news last night. So it comes out that, let me jump over to the headline, close the ads. So Kodak's insider stock donation raises new concerns around the company's government loans. It just doesn't stop, folks. You have the massive federal loan. You have probable insider trading going on before that it was released. And now you have a member of the company's board of directors, George Carfunkel, and his wife donating 3 million shares of Kodak stock, valued at about $116 million, I believe is what they come out, to a religious charitable organization that they started 2 years prior in New York. And the way it works is that you are able to get the price that is the average from the high to the low of the day that you donate it. Okay, so the day of he and his wife's donation, supposedly, Kodak stock hit a low of $17.50 and a high of $60. This is the day that they're saying they donated that. Now, the guidelines are vague, saying that you need to disclose this in an immediate, let's see if they have the exact terminology, because the guidelines say that you need to disclose it in a timely fashion or something like that. And from what I was reading up on, basically within a couple days, you need to disclose this charitable donation of stocks. Well, they waited 4 days, and then they said, so you come out Friday, okay? Friday being the 7th. Okay, here's the 7th. And you say that 4 days after, basically, you would disclose this information. 4 days afterwards, you say, oh, by the way, when Kodak hit that crazy high of $60, yeah, I gave 3 million shares of the 6 million I own to a charitable organization I started. So why don't you price those at about $30+ a share, and why don't you pass on that tax deduction that I will be able to achieve to the tune of $100+ million? Because, yeah, I gave those shares away to that organization on the 29th, even though I didn't tell anybody I did that until like 4 days later. But trust me, I did it then. I did. Just trust me and pass on that 9-figure tax deduction to the tune of $100 million. It's nonsense, folks. It's all over the place that's going on. So this deal under heavy scrutiny, as it should be, and that it just doesn't stop. More headlines on a constant basis on Kodak. All right, what else we got going on? How about we jump to our man Elon Musk? Because guess what, folks? Tesla is going to become a 4-for-1 stock split in the market. They love that idea. Check out that spike from about $13.74 last night. You trade up more than $100. You're still up right now about $85 from yesterday's close to $15.84. We'll jump around to some of the headlines that I'm watching this morning for stocks making moves. Where are we? Stocks making the moves. So we're going to scroll down. Tesla, 5-for-1 stock split, saying it wanted to make its shares more accessible to employees and investors. Elon, he was probably listening to that Apple conference call and said, hey, why are we going to let Apple sell their shares for $110 and we're selling our shares for $1,400? Nonetheless, that's going to be cut and divided by 5. The extra shares will be issued on August 28th to shareholders of record on August 21st, and they'll begin trading on a split-adjusted basis the last day of this month, August 31st. So Kodak, not even. I mean, there's so many headlines. This doesn't even talk about the deal that I was talking about. You have the CEO of Kodak saying the company supports the government's decision. Yeah, of course he's going to say that. What's he going to say? I don't support looking into all the hijinks going on. To halt a potential loan, saying the deal required more work. The loan designed to boost Kodak's pharmaceutical business under scrutiny. Yeah, and this they say for granting stock options to executives just prior to the announcement of the deal. So you have stock options being granted to the executives prior to the deal. That was not disclosed. It was a handshake deal that executives are supposedly, this is what they're telling us, there was a handshake deal that if more shares were ever introduced, they would not be diluted. Well, guess what? That happened literally the day before this news. Also, the day before this news, you had insider trading with dramatically higher volume before the announcement of the deal. And then you have members of their board retroactively backdating charitable donations to the one day that Kodak reached $60 in the past to the tune of 100 million plus charitable donation for a tax credit. That reeks all over the place, folks. Beware of that, and hopefully the SEC is looking into it. The deal's on pause, and that should not go through. That's not how business is supposed to be done, especially with government money. Roku, they're getting a buy in new coverage at Deutsch, which notes the streaming video service maker is the leader in its category, nearly 50% of market share. I mean, remarkable. This company, and I've been talking about it, I got some Rokus early on, though. I mean, can you imagine getting into the business that you're going to compete with Amazon for their Fire Stick, right? You're going to compete with Apple TV. You're going to compete with Google. I mean, there's just so many streaming platforms, but nonetheless, Roku getting it done. Roku getting a new buy from Deutsch, a little bit higher from 146 to 150. They had their earnings last week, didn't quite live up to expectations. But when you put things on a daily, still hanging tough. We're going to open at about 150 right now, pretty much right where you were on that spike high in February on their earnings 2 cycles ago. We're all the way at 58. We're talking about 150 for Roku on the open. Moderna, so they struck a $1.5 billion deal with the U.S. government, 100 million doses of its experimental COVID-19 vaccine. It's going to be provided to people free of charge, and the government will have the option to purchase an additional 400 million doses. I mean, the logistical nightmare that this is, folks, and Moderna, there's your chart. We're going to open much higher, though, at about 74. So there's where we're going to open on this chart. I'll put it on your 15-minute on that news. There's your pop higher. On not bad, right? $1.5 billion. That should put a little bit of a bid, but we're trailing off a bit. So be wary of these stocks as the volatility. It's going to be quite a logistical nightmare to administer hundreds of millions of doses. The procedures that are going to need to take place, and hopefully the government is doing their job, because it's every day is valuable, you know, in terms of the economy, in terms of life, period. Okay, Red Robin Gourmet Burgers, Red Robin, adjusted quarterly loss, $3.31 a share, 4 cents wider, not bad, 4 cents within. Sales were hit by the pandemic, obviously RRGB. Let's check out how they're trading. 1090 down to 940. We're trading about 1013 on their numbers. Overstock announced a new stock offering, 2.1 million shares, priced at $84.50 a share, compared to Tuesday's closing price of $92. What does that say about your company, folks? if you are a shareholder of $92 for Overstock as of the close yesterday, and they come out and say, hey, we're going to sell more shares, but the way that we think we can sell them best is if we give everybody a huge discount, because they aren't going to buy them if we give them anywhere near the price that it closed at yesterday. Be aware. These are insiders making these moves, folks. You know, they are the most informed, okay, of whether that share price is warranted or not. And you would not just offer 2.1 million shares into the public at $84.50 if you strongly believed your stock price was worth $92 or anywhere thereabouts. And nonetheless, you get Overstock from 112 we were just at. Maybe they said, hey, we just went from 112 to 95. Let's get this things out and collect some money before we go down to 85. And just like that, we're going to be at 85, right? You were just at $2 in March, and they're raising money at $84. You're darn right that they might be excited for that. Even in June, you were at $22. Watch out for these moves, folks. Volatility. S&Ps within about 40 points of all-time highs. Stay tuned, folks. I'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as,
whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archived workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. S&P is just hanging around 25 points positive. NQ futures positive by 65. The Dow approaching 300 points in the green. Let's start things off with Target. So Target, they have been added to JP Morgan's added to the analyst focus list at JP Morgan, with the firm expecting strong first quarter comp sale numbers to sustain when the second quarter figures are released. We're also going to jump over to American Eagle. JP Morgan upgrading them to overweight from neutral, saying American Eagle is mispriced on the low side given multi-year tailwinds in the casual and athletic categories. So Target, we're going to open higher. I'll put it on a 15-minute, but there's the high 134.59. Right now, we have a bid ask above 134, even though we closed yesterday at 131.72. And there you see the acceleration pushing those highs we had pre-market yesterday. American Eagle as well, trading from 11.56 to all the way almost to 13. You're up a solid $1 on that stock to 12.60 this morning. What else we got going on? Brooks Brothers, they will be around in some form, just not quite the form they were previously. They entered into a $355 million staking horse purchase agreement with retailer Spark Group in a move that could preserve the apparel brand as a going concern and help its operations in at least 125 stores. So they have about 200 stores right now. So you're going to see some closures, but they're going to come in. And the plan is to save 125 stores, so hopefully they will be around 500 stores around the world. I believe it's 200 stores in the U.S. Also, Microsoft. If you're in the market for a phone with two screens, you're going to be able to buy one September 10th for almost $1,400. Pretty interesting to see how the design and landscape of phones changes with technology. We were used to flip phones for a while, and that is, I guess, a version of a flip phone. Quite a pricey one, though, at that. All right, checking in on some of those stocks we covered this hour. Tesla shares holding their gains up at $14.55. We got to check in on Apple and Amazon. Apple shares $4.41 this morning. Amazon shares right now trading at $3,080, up a bit. Stay tuned, folks. Our man Larry Pesavento is coming up with Trade What You See next. We'll be right back.